Welcome to the Foundry by Forge College. So in today's explainer, Foundations of Smart Contract Testing, we're taking that shiny new Hello World contract we built in the Hello World Revisited project and figuring out how to really stress test its blueprints before we launch it. You know, if you've ever deployed a smart contract and literally just closed your eyes and prayed right before hitting the power switch, yeah, you know exactly why we're here today. Let's avoid blowing things up, shall we?
Here's our blueprint index for today's diagnostic session. We're going to hit the testing lab, the anatomy of a test, hard hat schematics, debugging diagnostics, and wrap up with the golden rules.
All right, let's just dive right into it. We're officially transitioning our focus from our previous lesson, where we looked at overall Solana security tools, straight into the trenches of our current environment, writing deterministic unit tests in Solidity. Basically, we're shifting gears from broad security concepts right into functional, localized testing.
So, Section 1, the testing lab. Having successfully added state variables and access modifiers to our Hello World contract, it's time to step into the lab to design tests that validate our happy paths, when everything goes perfectly right, and, of course, our failure modes, for when things intentionally go wrong.
Now, the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly what we're building. A unit test is essentially a method of isolating and validating specific contract behaviors to ensure safe state changes and proper error handling. Unlike broad, full-scale audits or random fuzzing, a unit test focuses on proving that one specific gear in our machine turns exactly the way we intend it to.
And every well-engineered test follows 3 universal mechanical steps. Step 1 is the setup, clearing your workbench and actually deploying the contract. Step 2 is the action, where we push the buttons and, well, hope it doesn't catch fire. And Step 3 is the assertion. That's where we check the dials to verify it actually did what it was supposed to do.
Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of a Test. Let's unroll an ink draft of a hard hat JavaScript test and dissect its structural components piece by piece, just so we really understand the framework we're operating in here.
You know what's really interesting here? It's how simple the architecture actually is once you sketch it out. Our testing framework relies on these specific blocks to group our diagnostics. The describe block, well, that groups everything for a specific contract. The before each block deploys a fresh instance, and the it block runs a highly targeted test scenario. Doing it this way ensures we run every single test in a perfectly clean, totally isolated environment.
Which brings us to a foundational concept, the fixture. A fixture is a baseline environment, ensuring your tests do not depend on past side effects. By using a fixture in our before each block, we guarantee our machine resets completely before the next test, keeping our results highly predictable. Basically, no leftover grease on the gears from the previous run.
Okay, Section 3, Hard Hat Schematics. Let's take a closer look at the actual syntax and assertions.
Check out this code snippet. This is an assertion using the expect helper from Chai. It acts as our diagnostic readout. It's literally our test asking the contract, hey, did you say hi? And then checking the internal tape to verify it isn't lying to us.
But tests aren't just about reading friendly greetings, right? We've got to vary the caller context with explicit signers, separate our transactions from read-only calls, and assert expected failure modes using functions like reverted with. It's so crucial to remember that we aren't just testing if the door opens when it's unlocked. We absolutely must test that the alarm blares when an unauthorized non-owner tries to kick it down.
Welcome to Section 4, Debugging Diagnostics. Inevitably, the machine is going to break and our test will fail. But here's a mental shift for you. A failing test is actually a highly specific diagnostic tool rather than some sort of disaster. It's simply the machine telling you exactly where the wrench got stuck.
When the observed state doesn't match the expected state, we can pull up this systematic troubleshooting chart. If the state is unchanged, you might have just missed an await command. If it reverts without a message, a custom error was likely thrown. And if you have an intermittent failure, which, let's be honest, is the absolute most annoying kind of bug, you probably have a test order dependency and need to rely on a fresh before each deployment. This table right here will literally keep you from tearing your hair out when things go sideways.
This whole debugging process highlights exactly why precise assertions are absolutely critical. An assertion isolates the exact contract behavior being validated. A vague call succeeds check might hide a catastrophic logical flaw behind a seemingly green checkmark. Actually, scratch that. Let's be real. We want absolute precision here, not just a generic thumbs up.
And finally, Section 5, Golden Rules. Let's lock in our testing workflows.
So I'll pose this question to you. Why do deterministic tests actually matter? Like, why do we care so much about removing random seeds, external dependencies, and time fluctuations from our testing lab?
Well, the answers are pretty straightforward. We use fast, local, in-memory nodes. We assign explicit roles to signers. We rely on fresh deployments for complete isolation, and we avoid random seeds or external network quirks. Deterministic isolated tests are basically the holy grail. Why? Because they allow us to iterate rapidly and confidently, knowing for sure that a failure means a bug in our code, not just some random glitch in the network.
Ultimately, your unit tests serve as the living, breathing documentation for your contract. They act as a precise engineering specification, explicitly detailing every rule, permission, and failure mode. If another developer comes along and wants to know exactly what your contract does, reading your well-written tests will give them the complete blueprint.
Today, we've laid the vital theoretical foundation. This perfectly prepares you for our next lesson, where you'll get your hands dirty writing these actual hard hat unit testing scripts. We're moving from theories straight into practice.
You know, in Web3, your code is law, and there is literally no undo button once it's live on-chain. So think about it. What behavior will you assert first to protect your users? Go ahead and prepare your test directories and head over to forge.college to dive deeper into Web3 development and put these testing blueprints into practice. Thanks for joining me in the lab for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.